Hey everyone, welcome back to the second part of this Tekken Tag Tournament 2 Trophy Roundup. Good Christ, that's a mouthful. Number-wise, in this video we're going to be looking at more trophies than we did in the last one. So strap yourselves in. To get this trophy, you need to perform 10 homing attacks. And right now, you're probably thinking, what the hell is a homing attack? Well, it's quite simple. To find out which attacks are of the homing variety, all you need to do is start a practice match and bring up the command list for that character. What you're looking for is any attack that has a blue symbol by its name. Like this one, backspin kick. What that symbol means is it will hit anyone who tries to sidestep you. Any attack that has that symbol will do the same thing. And any attack that has that symbol is a homing attack. So let's go ahead and put it up onto the top of the screen so we don't forget it. And then we'll just do this 10 times. And there we go. For this trophy, you need to perform 10 tag combos, which are really simple to do. Again, we're going to bring up the command list, and this time, you're looking for any attack that has a red square symbol next to it. Like this one, Demon Slayer. What this means is if you press the tag button immediately after you input the command, you will swap players as soon as the attack lands. But we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves there a little bit. First of all, let's put this move at the top of the screen again, and then let's practice it a couple of times to make sure we've got the timing right. So again, as soon as you input the command, press the tag button. Sounds simple, but let's do it again to make sure. Right. Now let's find a similar move for Jin, so we don't have to keep swapping back and forth between him and Asuka all the time. The double lift kick. This one is a bit trickier because it requires 2 button presses at the same time as opposed to just 1. So go ahead and practice that a few times as well to make sure you've got the timing down, because timing is key in this game. This time, we're going to attack after we switch. And that's a tag combo. Do that 10 times, and this trophy is yours as well. I kind of lost count there and did one final attack just in case. Now this is where things start getting a bit trickier, but not by much. For this one, you need to perform 10 bound combos. Now a bound combo is basically any combo that involves you bouncing your opponent off the floor and then hitting them afterwards. For a bound combo, you're looking for a move with a green square in it. Any move like that means that if you hit your opponent when they're in the air with that move, they will bounce off the floor. For the sake of this trophy, I'm going to use a move that's simple to pull off, because there's no point making things unnecessarily difficult for myself. Now, as you see, just performing this move on its own doesn't bounce them off the floor. What you need to do is you need to launch them first, and then hit them with it. When you see them hit the floor and that ring appears, that's a bound. Again, the key to this is getting the timing right in regards to that second attack. If you go too early, you end up behind your opponent, and if you go too late, you miss them entirely. I would also recommend forcing your opponent against the wall for this, just to make sure they don't bounce too far away from you, because you need to hit them after the bounce for it to count as a combo. And as usual, once everything is in place and you've got the timings right, go ahead and get that trophy. The only difference between this trophy and the previous one is that for this trophy, you need to press the tag button right after performing the bound, and then get your partner to hit your opponent. That is a tag assault. So, once again, you need to perform a bound attack and then hit the tag button right after. That brings your partner straight in before your opponent hits the ground and gives them a chance to hit them. So let's go ahead and do that 10 times to get this trophy. Slightly different than the previous ones, a direct tag assault is where instead of hitting your opponent up in the air to allow your partner to come in, you instead punch them into the ground. It's kind of like an instant bound attack, and although it isn't really classed as one, I don't think, it does the same thing. Like that. Now to do this, luckily, it's the same for every single character. You need to hold down square, triangle, and the tag button at the same time. You don't even need to hit them. This one's pretty simple. To perform a tag throw, all you need to do is get close to your opponent, and then hold down triangle and the tag button at the same time. That's it. No fancy button presses, nothing like that. Just triangle and tag. Do that 10 times, and this trophy's yours. This trophy requires you to perform 3 tag crashes. Now, you can't perform a tag crash in practice mode without a bit of setting up first. So let's go ahead and do that before we begin. First, you need to change the mode from freestyle to versus CPU training. You don't need to change the difficulty level, but I do recommend it to make this easier. Next, you need to go to advanced settings and then go to Rage. On this screen, I'd recommend that you set both the partner and the main character's rage state to on, just to be safe. Once you've done that, exit out of the menu and get back into the match. Now what you're waiting for is for the computer to put you on the floor. Unfortunately, not pressing anything, your character auto-blocks. So you need to jump and let them hit you on the floor. Once you're there, you need to hold triangle and tag, the same buttons as if you were doing a tag throw. And then this happens. Your partner will dive in and hopefully hit your opponent a little bit. Do this 3 times to get this trophy. Remember what I said earlier about this game requiring timing? This trophy requires timing of the perfect kind. First of all, you need to go into the command list for your character, and then scroll down until you come across a 10-hit combo move. It is there somewhere, you just might need to scroll for a bit. Right here for Jin, 10-hit combo. That looks like quite an intimidating set of buttons to press. But okay. Put the move up to the top of the screen so you've got a constant reference for it, and prepare to practice this move a lot. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this trophy took me 10 minutes to do, of constant practicing trying to get the timing down. You can't just spam through the buttons, because you'll stop around the 4th or 5th hit. You also can't go too slow, because then you just won't do any combos at all, and then you'll just do single hits every single step of the way. And neither of those is good. Now, I did a 10-hit combo there. That was purely by luck, and I have no idea what timings I used then. So I spent a while, like I said, practicing it again. And it turns out, what you need to do, at least in Jin's case, for this combo, is you need to speed through the first 5 button presses. So, triangle, X, 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 triangle, square. And then wait. Once he hits for the 4th time, then you put in the rest of the combo. That should give you the full 10 hits. Now, it's interesting to note that although I don't get a 10-hit combo these last 2 times, I do actually perform that 10th attack, that 10th move. Like now. See, I do that 10th punch, but I miss. So I think it didn't count, so I reset to the center. But it turns out, as long as you've performed that 10th hit, and even though I already have the trophy at this point, I'm just going through it a few more times to make sure I've got the timing right. And I recommend that you do the same if you ever plan to use these in online play. Time for a change of scenery, I think. Ah, doesn't this room look nice? Such a shame we're going to wreck it. Now, for this trophy, you need to break a wall. Which sounds simple, but it's not just as easy as putting your opponent up against it and then just kicking them into the wall. No, you can't do that. Nothing will happen, they'll just bounce off it as if it was a solid, unbreakable wall, as Asuka will now demonstrate. See? The wall remains intact. Even punching them does nothing. No. The best way to do this trophy is to perform a homing attack. Works every time. Near enough the exact same as the wall breaking trophy. The only difference is with this one, you have to use a balcony instead. Aside from that, everything else is the same. It's best off if you use a homing attack to knock them over. Also, it turns out, positioning is key, because this first attempt fails, oddly. I got it right on the second time though. Rounding off the last of the destruction trophies, this one requires you to break the floor. And to do that, all you need to do is perform a bound attack. You remember how to do that, right? First you hit your opponent up in the air, and then smash them into the ground. For this trophy, you need to get out of Elisa's spam bomb move. And the easiest way to do that is to once again play around with the settings in practice mode. This time, instead of versus CPU training, you need defensive training. Then, go to setting 1, go up to command list, and then scroll through until you find spam bomb. Pro tip, scrolling up to this move is so much faster than scrolling down. It's right near the end. Once you found it, select it, and then exit out of the menu. You don't need to change anything else. Once that's done, press select and circle to begin her one move sequence. And that's what you have to escape from. Luckily, it's really simple. All you need to do is, as soon as she puts her head in your hands, press triangle and square together. And you'll put it back on her shoulders. While this trophy isn't difficult, you do need to know your characters really well. Or you can just use the same two as me, Jinpachi and Wang. Start with Jinpachi as the active character, and then go into the command list, and you are looking for a move called Stonehead. this one. Now, I'd recommend you practice this for a bit, because you need to get the timing for this spot on, as usual. Now, the way to get this trophy is as follows. You need to perform that move on the screen, and at the exact moment that Jinpachi grabs your opponent, you need to press the tag button, which gives you a window of not very big. If you do it right, this happens. That's 1. You need to do that 2 more times. Again, for this one, timing is everything. Now for this trophy, you need to perform a great combo. And for the purposes of this trophy, I recommend that you use martial law and Paul. Once again, we're going to go into the command list, and you are looking for Poison Arrow. That's the move that we're going to use to start this combo. Now, the reason those 2 buttons are in brackets is because you need to press them very quickly after each other, not hold them down at the same time. The easiest way I find of doing that is to just have your thumb resting on triangle and then slide it down to square. It seems to work pretty well. Now, throughout this, I did reset the fight to the center of the arena a couple of times, because I kept practicing all the different aspects of this. And I recommend you do the same. First of all, I started off with just working out how to do the opening move. Then I worked out the timings to bring Paul in. Then, once you bring Paul in, you need to press triangle twice. Not only will this launch your opponent up into the air, but it will also automatically bring Law back into play, which is important for the combo. Once you're back in control of Law, all you need to do then is wait until the right time to press square to finish the combo off. Press it too soon or too late and you'll miss, and you'll need to start over. Eventually though, you will get it spot on, and you will be rewarded with that sweet, sweet pling. After all of that perfect timing stress, I think it's time we move on to an easier trophy or two. For this one, when you start your practice match, choose the Fallen Garden as the stage. And then, as we've done before a few times, change the settings from freestyle to versus CPU training. And again, we're going to let him wail on us so we fall over. That's what you need to do. For this trophy, you don't even need to throw a punch. Begin a practice match and set the stage to Eternal Paradise. Once you're in the game, you need to move your opponent towards the background there, where all the women are precariously balanced on the edge of that swimming pool. And that's pretty much all you need to do. Just get close to them, and they'll fall backwards. Didn't even touch her, I swear. And now for the final trophy of this video, we're going to mess with the CPU settings again. Remember how earlier we changed Elisa's settings so she would always do Spam Bomb? We're going to do the same thing here, only this time we're going to set it up so the opponent always performs a throw. Falcon Dice Kick should be good enough. And then again, press select and circle to begin the sequence. Now, to escape this particular throw, which you need to do 10 times, right at the moment he grabs you, you need to press triangle and circle. Again, it's all down to timing. But it's a lot easier than some of the other ones we've dealt with in this video, so you should be fine. And that's it! We managed to get through quite a few trophies this time around, and hopefully this video managed to help you out with some of them. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.